Do not consume the hot dogs. Do not approach the hot dogs. Do not pet the hot dogs. These are tales from Riftdale. Good evening, listeners. As always, I am codename Clairvoyance. I hope you have all managed to stay safely indoors today, because once again, something terrible has occurred in our city. Riftdale has become infested. Infested with hot dogs. Fires have been set, civilians have sustained horrific, life-threatening burns, and as I speak, the hot dogs are spreading throughout the entire city. In fact, one could be in close proximity to you right now. But I shouldn't get ahead of myself. First, let's recall how we got here. Sunny Myth Park, early this afternoon, was beautiful and serene as ever. Parkgoers were enjoying a calm breeze, a clear sky, and the gentle background hum of downtown Riftdale traffic in the distance. It was peaceful, and if living in Riftdale has taught me anything, too peaceful. A local food cart began making the rounds through the park. The person operating the cart was selling hot dogs, not to be confused with the hot dogs we hide from now. They were selling hot dogs, not hot dogs. I'm sure that naming convention won't become confusing. The hot dog cart saw the typical kind of business that food carts in Sunnymouth receive: couples out for a walk, children flying kites, and elderly people seated on benches feeding nearby birds. But then, while an average man, perhaps the most average man I've ever seen, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't quite remember his face. Probably because it was just so average and forgettable. At any rate, while this perfectly average man was purchasing a hot dog at the cart, something happened. The seller stopped moving. In fact, they were completely unresponsive. I'm unsure for how long they were unresponsive. I think I may have been daydreaming at the time. Strange. That's very unlike me. But it was certainly for multiple minutes. Of that I am pretty sure. More importantly, their eyes had turned a deep black, and their jaw began to slack. They then let out a low, guttural moan until eventually it happened. The cart began to shake. At first, it was just a light vibration, but it grew stronger and stronger until eventually it was shaking hard enough to tip it over. At which point, from the food cart burst hundreds of the hot dogs. And by that I don't mean the hot dogs that the cart owner was selling. Maybe I should have spent a little longer on this naming convention. No, the hot dogs are creatures which present in a variety of different traditional dog breeds, but with charred fur that seems to smolder like the coals of a low burning fire, heat waves rippling off their bodies. However, if that wasn't strange enough, they even behaved like typical dogs. Some chased downtown Riftdale cars into the distance. Some ran after frisbees thrown by park goers. And some immediately wanted attention from people. Attention which seemed involuntary. It started with one woman approaching one of the hot dogs. At first, she seemed excited to pet it, but then her hand touched its simmering fur. She began to scream. You see, listeners, merely touching this dog was burning her flesh. I know, because she then yelled, "Merely touching this dog is burning my flesh!" But also because flames crackled around the edges of where her hand touched the hot dog's back. Smoke billowed out from the point of contact and her hand turned a blistered red, and then a charred black. Despite this, she seemed unable to stop petting the hot dog, and between her shrieks of agony, she cried out, "Who's a good boy? You are. Yes, you are." Eventually, she let out a particularly sharp yelp in pain, which seemed to startle the hot dog enough that it jumped back and then ran off into the distance. The poor boy was scared. He's a good boy. He can't help that his body will char your skin. He just wanted to show her that he loved her. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Sorry about that, listeners. I don't know what came over me. After the hot dog ran off, the woman grasped her wrist and through tears watched as parts of her fingers fell off into a pile of ash. And then she began approaching yet another hot dog. Sure enough, the rest of the park goers began following suit, unable to control their urges to pet the nearest hot dog to them. Some were lucky enough to witness what was happening and flee before they too were drawn into the uncontrollable petting, while others were unlucky enough to make the mistake of hugging the hot dogs. And even now, many of them lie fetal on the ground, whimpering, while others run frantically as fast as they can. Unfortunately, running only seems to encourage the hot dogs to chase you, as if it were a game. As we enter a citywide state of emergency, I turn to citizen callers for updates on this dire situation. Hello, caller 1. What can you tell me about your current state? Are you safe?
No one is safe so long as the anomaly is present.
Oh, it's you, the text-to-speech caller. I'm sorry, the anomaly? Do you mean the hot dogs?
No, the hot dogs came into contact with the anomaly.
You mean the anomaly is one of the citizens burned by the hot dogs?
No, the anomaly made hot dogs, with hot dogs.
What inflection do you mean to say that with? Are you saying hot dogs or hot dogs?
This is a very stupid naming convention.
Okay, well, I'm sorry I didn't have much time to come up with a cooler name. People's lives are at risk here.
You could have gone with anything.
Oh, if it's so easy, then let's see you do it.
Hellhounds, burning beasts, pyre pups, simmering strays.
Wow, that was fast. You are really good at alliteration.
Combustion curs, heated hounds, fiery fidos, piping pooches.
Okay, caller 1, I get it. You are way better at coming up with names than I am.
Even dire dogs would have worked if you wanted to keep the word dog in there.
Caller 1, we need to stay focused. What is the anomaly?
Flaming ferals, feverous flea bags, blazing bitches.
Caller 1, please!
Sorry, the anomaly. We call it the distortion anomaly. It tilts balance between chaos and order in the space around it. Wherever the distortion anomaly is, chaos and order are in constant flux.
Chaos and order? Caller 1, what on earth are you talking about?
We call it chaotic order theory. The harmony in the universe is found at the center of a tug-of-war between the two extremes. The anomaly tips the scale in either direction at any given point. When balance is lost, corporeal people and objects may take on a more chaotic or ordered existence. Though it's hard to predict when, where, or even how, the anomaly will impose this change on the tangible universe around it. Even the act of modifying universal equilibrium seems to be in a constant state of flux between order and chaos.
What?
The distortion anomaly makes weird things happen around it.
Oh, okay.
I need to go. We have a meeting soon, but just know that the hot dogs will be dealt with eventually. I'm sure we'll figure something out. It's the anomaly you should be investigating.
But wait, how will the hot dogs be dealt with? When will they be dealt with? And wait a minute, Caller 1, did you literally type in the word psi?
Goodbye, clairvoyance.
But Caller 1, what is the distortion anomaly? What does it look like? Where can we find... They hung up. Listeners, I'm going to be honest with you. I only partially understood what that caller was talking about. I mean, chaotic order theory? What kind of pretentious asshole comes up with a name like that? It sounds like a concept from a cheesy modern sci fantasy hastily written by an author with very little talent. Anyway, I know the previous caller assured me there were more important things to worry about than the hot dogs, and that they would be dealt with soon, but I'm not convinced. Riftdale, the hundreds of hot dogs have at this time dispersed throughout the entire city. Therefore, I urge you all to stay indoors and perhaps barricade doors and windows. As you all know, I have access to the Riftdale Department of Public Safety's surveillance system. The one with feeds in public buildings, parks, roads, homes, bathrooms, all the usual places to see government surveillance cameras in Riftdale. Anyway, I'm looking through those very feeds as I speak, and there doesn't seem to be a single safe place in Riftdale at this point. The hot dogs have spread rather evenly throughout the city. Countless citizens are petting them and wailing in pain as they watch their skin boil before their very eyes, all while helplessly repeating phrases such as, "You're such a good boy," and "You're my special little guy," and also, "What a talented little pup, disintegrating the flesh from my bones so effectively." Some of the phrases seem to get very specific. And as determined as they may be, even the Eye of the Rift seems incapable of grappling with this situation. Because you see, countless people in black suits and red ties have flooded into the streets carrying with them large cages, hoping to lure the beasts inside. However, they too fall into the same trap as every other citizen who has encountered the hot dogs. They begin uncontrollably chanting things like, "Come here, boy, come here, yeah, that's a good boy," and petting their scorched fur. These agents of the Eye have sustained severe burns, and many of them have had entire limbs reduced to ash. But I'm sure these good boys didn't mean it. I mean, just look at them. They're just so sweet. They would never hurt a fly. Good boys, good boys. Oh no. Listeners, I wasn't in control of what I was saying just then. Just as before, I really don't know why I said that. I think whatever has happened to all of these citizens is beginning to happen to me too. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I think I'm going to turn off my camera feeds. I fear it may be too dangerous to even look at these creatures on a monitor. And I can only hope that not seeing them will somehow protect me. Okay, turning off the feeds now. Now that the screens are off, I have no way to see what's happening outside. I don't know how to report on this crisis without my feeds. This is such a strange feeling. I don't know that I've ever had all the screens in this room turned off at once. In fact, I'm only just now noticing how much light in this room was coming solely from those monitors. It's very dark in here. It's very quiet in here. It's very lonely in here. Listeners, I see that the caller waiting light has come on my broadcasting equipment. I think that it should be safe to patch them through. At least I hope it is. Hello, Stacy, you are on the air. What do you have to report? Hello, Stacy?
Oh, are you talking to me right now? My name isn't Stacy. It's Mike.
Oh, sorry, force of habit. Yes, hello, Mike. What do you have to report?
Hi. Wow, this is so exciting. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of being on a radio show before.
Clearly you aren't familiar with just how unpopular this broadcast is.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to say that I was flipping through the stations on my way into work and I heard you were discussing these really cute pooches. Man, where did they all come from? They're all over the place outside my restaurant.
Oh no. Caller 2, do not approach the hot dogs. They are highly dangerous. You will sustain serious injuries if you do not flee immediately.
What, these guys? They aren't dangerous. They just want attention. Oh, calm down, boys. I can only pet so many of you at once.
Pet? Caller 2, are you petting the hot dogs?
Of course I am. What jerk doesn't pet a pooch who just wants a little love?
How is that possible? Your hand should be burnt to a crisp. Listeners, I'm going to turn on my feeds. I need to see this. Here goes. Caller 2, where did you say you were?
Oh, I'm just outside Pete's Pizza. Most averagely good vegan bistro in town.
1 second. Okay, I've got that camera pulled up. Oh, I do indeed see what looks to be a man petting the hot dogs outside of Pete's Pizza. He seems completely unfazed. I'm not sure how. Nothing about him seems all that special. He's actually quite average. Incredibly average, even. Although I can't quite see his face. He's
Hello? Mr. Radio Show Man? I don't think the call dropped. Well, I wouldn't want to bore his audience. Hey, everyone. How are you all today? I'm doing pretty okay. Not too good, not too bad. Pretty average day all around, really. Although these pups sure are bringing a ray of sunshine into my, evening. Oh, by the way, just so you all know, my restaurant, Pete's Pizza, is open till midnight. So, if you work up an appetite petting all these good boys, you can stop on in anytime before then. We've got vegan dishes for just about every craving. Sweet, savory, soul-sucking existential horror. Oh, and we don't serve pizza. Please don't ask for pizza. Also, if you're using one of those food delivery apps, make sure to use the code at checkout for 10% off your order. That's spelled as in boy, as in apple, as in that feeling you get when a long-time crush lets you down easy, as in the very concept of time itself, and as in... So come on down to Pete's Pizza for a very adequate experience. Tell them Mike sent ya. Not Pete, my name isn't Pete. Although we'll accept Mark, Mitchell, Matthew, really anything that starts with an M, since people seem to have a really hard time remembering Mike. Wow, would you look at that? A lot of these dogs are gathering around me for attention now. Every time I look, there's more. It's like they're all telling each other I'm handing out free pets over here. Ha ha! Aw, jeez. And a lot of folks are just doing that thing again where they stare at me with their soulless black eyes. Gosh, people can be so rude sometimes. Well, if you can still hear me, Mr. Radio Host, I'm gonna let you go now because it looks like more pooches are coming in from all over town. And you know, someone's gotta take these boys for a walk. Thanks again for chatting with me. Goodbye.
Yeah, hello? What's happening? Why am I staring at a singular monitor that is turned on? All of these should be turned off. I need to avoid seeing the hot dogs. Okay, it's off. Back to my silent, nearly pitch black room, with only my thoughts to keep me company. Without my feeds to the Riftdale surveillance cameras, I'm unsure what's happening out there right now. That fact is making me very anxious. I can only hope that... Wait, listeners, do you hear that? There it is again. I think something is in the vents. Oh no. It's one of the hot dogs. How did it get in the vent? Oh no. I can't see the door in this darkness. If I turn on the camera feeds, I risk looking at the other hot dogs. Oh no. It's getting closer. I'm cornered. Wait. I can feel a pipe on the wall here. Maybe if I use my belt to restrain one of my hands to the pipe, I can resist. Okay. Stay calm. Okay, yes. Okay, I think that will hold as long as... Listeners, the hot dog is in the room. It looks like a corgi, but with black, singed fur. I can only see it because it's glowing just under its fur with small flames occasionally crackling to the surface. Its eyes are emanating a fiery red light, and the slobber dripping from its mouth seems to be steaming and evaporates immediately upon making contact with the floor. And he's such a good boy. He's a good boy, everyone. He's a good boy, and I can't help what I'm saying right now, can I? No, I can't. No, I can't. Please, oh God, I don't want to die like this. No, I don't. No, I don't. Oh, what a well-behaved boy, sitting up exactly 5 feet away from me. What an adorable monstrosity from the pits of hell. Oh, what an excited boy. I can't quite reach you, though. Come a little closer so I can scratch you behind the ears, boy. But please, God, don't actually come closer, you precious little fluff ball of pure evil. Oh, look who's coming closer. Is this my end? Is this how I die? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just a little closer and I can scorch my hand to the bone, petting your adorable little head. Oh? Why'd you stop, boy? You're perking up your ears. Did you hear something? What'd you hear? Why are you walking over to the vent, buddy? Are you gonna go find what you heard? That's good. Anything to get you away from me, you magma-based monstrosity. Go get it, boy. Go get it. Is it gone? Did it actually leave? Listeners, I think the hot dog has left. I'm still alive and unscathed. I couldn't control myself there. I was aware the entire time, but I had no way of stopping myself from attempting to pet the hot dog. Its head got so close to my hand. I could feel the intense heat radiating from its fur. To think if I hadn't restrained myself. Why did it leave? What did it hear? I think I have to turn my monitors back on. I need to know what made the hot dog leave. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Wait, what? Where are they? I'm looking through the Riftdale feeds and I'm not seeing them. East Riftdale, West Riftdale. How is that possible? Only moments ago, the hot dogs filled our every street, but now they're nowhere to be found? They can't have just disappeared without a trace, can they? A tragic epidemic gone from this world even faster than it spawned? I mean, I should be relieved that the hot dogs are gone, but instead, I am left with more questions than ever before, and more fear of the unknown than ever before. I am going to end this broadcast here because, well, my top story of the night has just vanished into thin air. I will monitor this situation closely, listeners, and notify you all immediately if the beasts return. But perhaps remain indoors for tonight, just to be sure. And, as always, never forget, Riftdale, never forget.